Oh, g'day scrappers. Yeah, here's my new rock tumbler for milling down. I was looking at different alternatives and options to mill down things like IC chips, MLCCs, tantalum capacitors, whatever. And so I was looking at mills and I thought, well, you know, they're obviously a good mill, a proper one, is really expensive. And I thought, well, look, see if I can look at something that is a bit more stepped down, like something that's imported from China. So it's just a mini rock tumbler, and it's just got a timer and different speeds, 5 speeds, and that's about it. So I wanted something like this, mostly because I didn't like the idea of incinerating chips. And I mean, we all see a lot of guys, incinerating their chips before going for the gold recovery. And I'm not convinced that incinerating chips works that well for most people. I think I've only seen one guy that's actually successfully incinerated his chips in one go and gotten a nice fine powder. And the way he done that was he used an extreme high temperature that did the job. But for me, and I think for most scrappers, it's just not feasible to have a burner as strong as he had. It was like a big blower and a big burner, and So, but from what I see for most other guys that try incinerating chips, after they've gone through, spent half a day incinerating, they're not even broken down. They're still, half broken down and half got chips, where some of them will say, oh, I'll just throw these back in and I'll incinerate these again. Well, how many times do you want to burn a fire and process IC chips like that when it's not really doing the job? So, I think milling is probably, it's better for me because I can't get the heat up on a fire hot enough to burn IC chips properly, and most can't. You're really doing damage to the environment by letting those toxins out into the atmosphere. So, so I'm looking for a more environmentally friendly way to process IC chips. Because after all, it's only a bit of gold. It's not it's just not worth damaging the environment. Imagine like a million scrappers all incinerating IC chips in their backyard. I mean, imagine how the skies would be, So, I'm just looking for other alternatives. And so some of you, get that out of the way, might think, well, this little chamber is plastic and it's going to break and crack. Well, it's a strong kind of plastic, and it's about a third of an inch thick, this stuff in here. This part here is only about a quarter inch, but that's about a third of an inch thick. Don't know if you can see it through there, but so it's very thick, very strong, and if it's going to tumble rocks, and rocks are damaging in themselves, probably more damaging than IC chips. So I can't see any problem with having a plastic, one of these hard plastic chambers. And someone mentioned to me ventilation in the chamber. I'm not sure about that yet, so I'll have to sort of look into ventilation. If I needed that, I might just maybe drill a hole in each side to allow some ventilation to come through. We'll just see how we go. But I'm just going to try it out very quickly. So to give you a little idea, I just turn on the timer and say speed 1. Speed 2. 3. 4. And top speed. obviously for what we're doing, I'd imagine probably only want speed 2 or 3, but we're going to test it out anyway. I've bought some stainless steel balls, hopefully to do the milling. These ones are 1/2 inch in size, and these are 3/4 inch in size. Now, any bigger than this, they just get very expensive, but I probably need a bit more, and I might just get a few bigger ones off eBay just to just in case if it doesn't work as well as I think, because I think the bigger they are, the more they're going to crush at the start. But once you start getting smaller pieces of IC chips, I think then it's the smaller ones that are going to do the finer work. So you want a sort of a mixture. So I think some bigger ones just to help the start of it, and maybe some more smaller ones to speed up the end process. But we'll see how we go. Anyway, so here I've got 3/4 of a pound, and just to test it out, I've got 1 pound of IC chips. Actually, I'm thinking in kilos, but this is actually 1.5 pounds, and 1 pound of IC chips we can try. I'm going to put 1.5 pound of these balls. So I'll put all these 1/2 inch balls in there. So they're nice stainless steel. They're 316 stainless steel, and these ones are 100 grade. Put them in. Don't know if there's probably not going to be enough balls. I'm not sure. And these are 3/4 inch 316 stainless steel, but these are 200 grade, so they're a little bit higher quality stainless steel. Okay, put on our cap, put our bar in. Oh. All right, so we've got a nice little seal again. We'll get a little roller. So we'll start it off. I'm not really sure what speed. 2. Okay, so obviously the heavier it is, we'll see how this bit works. Doesn't look like it's doing much at the moment. I'm just going to leave this go for about half an hour. Let's see if it actually does anything, and we'll take a look. Okay, well that was 30 minutes, and as you can see, we can't see inside the canister anymore. Yeah, it looks like it's just fine powder that's just stuck to the to it. Well, it looks like it's done something. At least it's got some powder in there, but it's only been half an hour, so obviously I'm pretty sure it's going to need more time than half an hour, but still interested to have a look to see if it's not just some fine dust and it hasn't done anything. But it haven't really done a great deal. Like this IC chip, it's only just started. Doesn't look like there's going to be any gold in it anyway, but it's only just started breaking up. Inside 30 minutes. It's just started, yeah. Barely anything has been really breaking down. It's just 1 what I think is these balls are a little bit too small, and so they're taking any little bits right down to the powder, but I don't think that they're heavy enough to actually start crushing these. Because yeah, they're basically not even really making a start on anything, but it's still, it is only half an hour, but you know, I would expect probably a little bit more than this in half an hour. So it's definitely the balls are too light. You know, one thing I probably could have done if I wanted to put the time into them, just with a hammer and just crush some of these just to make a start. But I think I'm going to have to get the bigger balls and try it with the bigger balls to get the first process part of it, the initial crushing, done quick. But that's okay. Maybe if I take out, say, at least a dozen IC chips, okay, to give to make the balls sort of worthwhile a bit, you know, to work a bit more. So I might take a little handful here. See, like this one here, yeah, it's sort of started to get in. So I'll leave these out, make it a little bit lighter, and I suppose we'll give it another half hour and see if it has any real difference. Another thing I noticed is that this plastic here is very smooth and slippery, and these wheels are on little ridged metal things, so it's not gripping. These are spinning fast, but this is going slow. So what I might need to do is, with a sharp knife, maybe just cut grooves all the way along so they can stick into these grooves, because at the moment this is too slippery. It needs to be more rubbery rather than plasticky. But we'll give it another half an hour. Okay. So with a few less IC chips, maybe it might work. Okay, back in 30 minutes. Okay, well, another 30 minutes has passed. So that's 1 hour now, and this time with a few less IC chips, but I've really got the feeling that I'm going to need bigger balls. So yeah, definitely they're not really doing anything much, very, very finely. So yeah, most of them aren't even really getting done. So I'm really, you know, there's very fine powder in here. It's crazy, but it doesn't look like these balls are heavy enough. They've lost a lot of their shine, or maybe, yeah, but I don't think they're heavy enough to start the process. What I'll do is I'll crush these chips a little bit with a hammer, which will still be a better option than incinerating, you know, just spending a little time just giving them a quick crush, and we'll see if that sort of does anything any different. It might just speed up the process. I mean, it's only been an hour, but from what I can see, another hour is probably not really going to make any difference. Okay, I've got the bigger balls, really nice 35mm balls, and that's the bigger balls that I used to have. So there's, as you can see, there's a really big difference, and that's the smaller balls that I had. So with these ones, they just weren't heavy enough, I don't think, to even crush these, to start these off. Once they're crushed up, I'd imagine these ones would work a little bit better. So what I'm going to do is I tried to crush the IC chips, and yeah, just I tried crushing some of them with a hammer, but they're really hard to crush, and if that's what I had to do, then I wouldn't go through this process. Then, you know, I'd probably rather just go to the incinerating stage. So yeah, so I stopped crushing them, and I'm back to the original full pound, and so I'll put these in, and we'll give this another test. We have got some crushed, so that might help. So I'll put the 4 big balls in, and yeah, they weigh quite a bit. Feels, or sounds better anyway. And I'll put these 3/4 inch. I'll put all these ones in, and I'll leave these small ones until we got some crushing, and then we can put the small ones in for the finer crushing, I'd imagine. That's if all goes well, but still not 100% confident here. But, you know, you got to try these things, and we got to, you know, trial and error. That's the only way we learn, and we find new and better ways to do things. I'll just chuck this in. All right. Okay, well, that's going to make the machine a lot heavier. I have cut a little bit of grooves just to sort of roughen the edge up a little bit. Maybe that'll help. Well, we'll give it a go anyway. We'll give it half an hour. Okay. Well, I let it go for 1 hour, so because I don't think half an hour does much for any kind of milling. So we'll have a look. What I had to do, because it was the barrel was slowing down, so I had to remove probably half of the big balls, or the smaller ones, just so it could spin around a little bit easier. It seemed to work okay after a while. Okay, well, not much, to tell you the truth. It's doesn't look like it's really, I mean, it's done a bit, but so it's started to crack some, but really nothing, not enough for 1 hour of spinning. Not going to get bigger balls in there, so I'm definitely going to have to, you know, yeah, I'm definitely going to have to incinerate, unfortunately. Incinerate these, so I'm going to have to look for a clean way to incinerate, and from there, then I can use this mill no problem, and this would work really good. So yeah, I think the next video I'll do is yeah, try and incinerate these and see how the mill works then. I'm sure then it's going to work perfect. It's just a matter of getting the incinerator system how I want it. So milling IC chips from absolutely you know, raw, nah, this sort of system won't work. Maybe a better miller, no doubt. You know, the more mechanical millers, you know, and just a better system overall. But this thing here, I reckon it will be good for incinerated chips. And then we can use these balls as well, and we can get it into a really fine sort of powder. But even those bigger balls, they're not big enough to crush those IC chips to start the process off. So if we can't start it, we can't finish off with our product. So all right, well, it was worth a try, hey. You know, seeing if I could avoid using the incineration process, but it looks like I can't. So next step, incinerator.